Section 3.3 is our rules for differentiation, and we're just going to go through these fairly quickly. So on each slide, you don't need to copy everything, but at least get the rules down in the basic format for each rule. So the derivative of a constant, we all know that the ddx of c is 0. The derivative of every constant function is the 0 function. Oh, sorry, let me get this. Hold on a second. I can't get that to read, but anyway, it says rule 2 is the power rule for positive integer powers of x. So the power rule where we bring the exponent down to become the coefficient and we subtract 1 from the exponent. That's better. Rule 3, the constant multiple rule. If u is a differentiable function and c is a constant, then the derivative of c times u is the same as c times the derivative. In other words, we can pull the coefficient out in front and just deal with the function itself. Rule 4, sum and difference rule. The derivative of a sum or difference is the derivative of the first function plus or minus the derivative of the second function. These are all just basic rules. I just want you to get them down so that we have a list and refresh our memory here. Rule 5, the product rule. The product of two differentiable functions, u and v, is differentiable, and d dx of uv is u dv dx plus v d du dx. In other words, the first function times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. So here's a quick example. This is one of the ones that takes a little bit more work to do, especially when you're learning it the first time. I know you all have this down pat, but let me go through this example for you. So we're first of all going to take the derivative of the product is the first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. So derivating this to get through x squared. And then, of course, we need to clean that up a little bit. So we do our multiplication, distribution, combine our like terms, and that's our final derivative. Quotient rule, again, takes a little bit more work. So it's low, the bottom derivative, d high, minus high, the top derivative, d low, over the bottom squared. And an example of that, if you need a refresher, so we're going to use u as our numerator, v as our denominator. So it's the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom over the bottom squared. Again, FOILing out and distributing on the top until we can get a simplified version of our derivative. Sorry, that's off the slide again. Power rule for negative integer powers of x. It's the exact same rule as the integer rule, except n now can be negative as well. So second and higher order derivatives, a lot of different ways, and you talked about this last year. So y prime is dy dx, y double prime is dy prime dx, which is d dx of dy dx, or the second derivative of of y with respect to x. Third derivative, we do the same thing. Sorry. Once we get past about y triple prime, things get a little bit messy. So we go to n's. So y to the, say, fifth prime of y would be d dx of the fourth derivative. Okay? And that's it. Pretty quick and easy.